What Linnaeus perhaps didn't realize in his lifetime is the fact that 1 in 10 of the plants in the world, it's calculated, will soon disappear from the face of the earth. Before some of the rarer flowering plants disappear completely, Barbara Everard has been commissioned to make paintings of them. She's talking to Dilys Breeze.
Mrs. Everard, considering that very many of these plants that you've been painting have even only been seen by very few people, how have you managed to get specimens in order to produce your paintings?
I, of course, had to go to the herbarium at Kew and draw from a dried specimen, which in some cases is quite old, and then for the colour reference, either another artist's painting, usually sometimes very old, or photographs, if there are any. This beautiful thing, the jade vine, which I think is just, there are a plant or two in the wild, but very much on the danger list.
What does it look like?
Oh, it's really, you can only describe it as a jade green, and a true jade green laburnum. A long truss, like perhaps a wisteria. Longer, perhaps about a foot in length, of these beautiful jade green flowers of an absolutely out of this world colour. I'd love to see it.
Do all these plants still exist, though, somewhere in the world that you've illustrated?
Well, some don't. One, the Phillip Island glory pea, has gone. Extinct, owing to goats and pigs eating it. And the island, Phillip Island, is bare of vegetation, and it's slowly being washed into the sea.
So this is a plant which has absolutely vanished, no specimen remains now?
Yes, and I had only got 2 dried specimens collected in the 1800s to work from.
Is there any chance of us rediscovering it?
Well, this is what is hoped. It is hoped that perhaps my painting, being published, may unearth it in some greenhouse, because it was grown considerably, I understand, as a greenhouse plant years ago, and it may still be lurking, you see.
Did you have then a complete range of samples for each plant? I mean, did you have fruits, flowers, leaves, and so on for each plant?
No, one had to make the use of what was there, because these are rare plants. They're all rare plants. And even when these were collected, I don't suppose there were very many specimens. There was a buttercup, and I believe the herbarium have a specimen, but no one will ever know what its flowers were like, because just as the botanist was about to collect the last plant, a goat got to it before him and ate its flowers off, so that's that.
Of the plants that do still exist, which is the rarest?
I would say the redwood tree of St. Helena. I think there's only one tree.
One single specimen?
I believe I'm right. And once again, goats, pigs, those sort of things, introduced to the island, have pretty well eaten it all up.
It does strike me that apart from their rather formidable botanical names, many of these rare plants do have very attractive English names.
What, like Blushing Bride?
Blushing Bride is lovely.
Yes. Unpronounceable, its Latin name. And the flowers, once again, like the redwood tree, they start off white and then turn to a deep pink. I think it's used for wedding bouquets. Then there's this Zeronema, which I call a toothbrush plant. It grows on Poor Knight's Island, off the north coast of New Zealand.
You call it a toothbrush plant?
I call it the toothbrush plant because it looks just like one, like a red toothbrush.
Isn't it really rather a difficult job, bringing these plants back to life when they are just dried up specimens?
Yes, it's not always the easiest thing to do, resurrect plants from some aged, flat, brown, dried material, to know how the plant would look alive.
And so you have to use your imagination on these samples?
Yes. You just have to sort of know how the plant lived.
And we can see Mrs. Everard's paintings and read about the plants in the Observer magazine on September the 12th.